Jerusalem, if I forget you, fire not gonna come from my tongue. Jerusalem, if I forget you, let my right hand forget what it's supposed to do. Jerusalem, if I forget you, fire not gonna come from my tongue. Jerusalem, if I forget you, let my right hand forget what it's supposed to do. Jerusalem, if I forget you, fire not gonna come from my tongue. Jerusalem, if I forget you,
Welcome to Jerusalem. So nice to see you here. We are now in an amazing exclusive site. We're in Mount of Olives looking at the heart of the hearts, this soul of the world. This is Jerusalem. It's very hot right now and we are live. Just now we're standing here and I'm so excited seeing all of you from all around the world, all of us together connecting through this place, Jerusalem. Behind me, Temple Mount. But before we start the tour, seeing amazing sights, amazing views, we're going to meet some very interesting people. I'm privileged to have standing just next to me, Mr. Alan Schneider, the director of Bnei B'rith World Center of Jerusalem, just here. Can you say something for us? Greet us in the beginning.
Hello. Dear Bnei B'rith brothers and sisters, members of Jewish communities around the world, dear viewers. To fill the gap left by coronavirus that has made it impossible for you to travel here and enjoy the sights, sounds, smells, and tastes of Jerusalem, the World Zionist Organization and the Bnei B'rith World Center Jerusalem are honored to provide this unique opportunity to visit some of the major sites associated with Yom Yerushalayim and our capital city from the comfort of your home and with the help of two expert guides, Aviv Vishkowski, who is here with me on the Mount of Olives, and Dorit Graver.
Great you're back. So we're starting a tour. This is going to be an amazing experience, seeing the hearts, the understanding the people, and understanding the history of Jerusalem. Now, Jerusalem is not a regular city, as we all know. Not only because it has an amazing history of more than 3,500 years, and it's our history. It's not just the history, it's our history. It's our connection. What's the connection between the Jews all around the world since the beginning till today? It's Jerusalem. We're facing Jerusalem. We're remembering Jerusalem. Zionism is Zion. Zion is just behind me right now. Mount Zion, this is Jerusalem. So we're going to talk a little about the history. But first, let's start just to remember what happened to Jerusalem from the beginning. And from when should we start? Let's start from Abraham, our father. Our forefather Abraham Avinu. And why with Abraham? It's because when we talk about Abraham, we would understand more about why Jerusalem is named Jerusalem. Jerusalem is combined with two words and something in addition. Let's start with the first one. When Abraham comes here, 3,000, almost 800 years ago, he comes here and he meets Melchizedek, the king of Salem. Shalem, Melchizedek, the king of Shalem. Malki in Hebrew means the king. Tzedek is justice. Meaning even when this was a Canaanite city, still Jerusalem represents justice. And Melchizedek, the king of Shalem. Salem, Shalem, Shalom, peace. Shalem, Shalom, whole, complete. This is Melchizedek. He's the king of Shalem, and this city is the city which unites people together. The people, the place of the heart of the world where people come and enjoy it. So that's the first time Abraham comes to Jerusalem. Second time would be when he comes for the binding of Isaac. Do you see the Golden Dome, which is on the peak of the Temple Mount? We also call it Dome of Rock, because under the Golden Dome is a rock, the foundation stone of the world, the peak of the mountain called Mount Moriah. That's over there. So when Abraham comes from Beersheba, he walks on these mountains just above. He probably walks through Hebron and through Bethlehem, and he comes to the Dome of Rock. There, he needs to sacrifice his son, just to see if he's worshiping God. It was a connection, is a higher connection to God. He almost sacrifices Isaac, Yitzchak. But then, as we all know, he sees a ram, and he takes the shofar, and he sacrifices the ram instead of Yitzchak. And since then, we have the shofar with us. Another connection from us to God. Those who don't believe in God, let's call it the higher values which we represent. So it starts from Jerusalem. Jerusalem is, on the one hand, connects us together, and the other hand, it connects us to our old values and to our present values, to the higher values And that starts straight from here. Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, they go to Egypt, come back, and then more story of Jerusalem. Let's just jump another almost 1,000 years till King David. King David comes here, and Jerusalem unites the people of Israel. We were 12 tribes, and Jerusalem unites us. It's the first capital of all 12 tribes of Bnei Israel, people of Israel. Israel is Yaakov, right? So this is a place uniting people, and how are we united? We can say we are united, but it's better to meet each other and to dance together, isn't it? So unfortunately this year it's a little hard to dance together, but 3 times a year people would come to this specific place to dance together. That was for 400 years, from King David during all the time of the first temple. And then Babylonians, they destroyed the first temple, and we were exiled outside of Israel. But 70 years later, we come back again to the same spot. The people who were there remember the temple. They're crying, we remember the temple. Do you understand what the temple is? Are you excited like I am? Do you understand that the temple is a place where there was the violins and the harps of the Levites, thousands of people playing music together? Do you think of the incense, the great smell that Jerusalem had? We know in Jericho there were goats who were sneezing from the smell. And we know that a bride on a wedding night here in Jerusalem never put perfume on her because of so strong a smell. Do you see a big, huge party of all of us, one people, one nation? 400 years, and then it was destroyed. As we came back, as we said, Second Temple, Ezra and Nehemiah, that's the Bible still. And then the Bible ended, the time of the Bible, and then we have the Maccabees, after the Greeks took over all this area. Just remember, when I'm saying Jerusalem, I don't mean all of this. This Jerusalem today is the biggest which it has ever been. Jerusalem of the Maccabees is only about from a valley on the left-hand side. There's like a rooftop, which we're going to see in the camera, and then all the way a little more northern to your right-hand side of the Temple Mount. That was Jerusalem during the Maccabees. Today, thank God, this is amazing. I hope you're seeing what I am seeing. This is just, and we are now on Yom Yerushalayim, all of us together. So exciting, isn't it? So temple, Second Temple, was here for 586 years, meaning this is Jerusalem, this was the capital of our nation. But then, unfortunately, the Romans came in. And the Romans started destroying and killing and riots all the way from the north to Jerusalem. And then after 3 years of trying to keep Jerusalem as our capital, it also was burnt and destroyed. And the Jews are sent for 2,000 years outside of Jerusalem, when we don't have an independent country, independent state. But still, we're fighting the flow, still we're aiming and we're looking forward to the day that would come, that we are still going to come back here and we can put our flag and sing a Hebrew song. And the day has come. So after the Romans came the Byzantine, which means the Romans which became Christian, and then came the first Muslims, and then came the Crusaders, that's year 1099 to the Common Era, and then came here Salah ad-Din Ayyubi, that's 1187 in the Common Era, then came back the Christians, and came back the Muslims, this time they're called Mamluk, and then came here the Ottomans, their central command is in Turkey of today, and then came the British after First World War. And then in 1948, we have a country, Israel, dependent state. But the war was very difficult. It was very hard to defend our borders. And we lost Jerusalem. We have a country, but we lost the heart. What do you think, a body without a heart? What does that mean? So still we're happy, we have an independent country, but still we don't have a heart. And we are now in Mount of Olives. What you're seeing in the view is exactly what the Jordanians saw for 19 years. Cannons can just artillery hit, and we are here today. And how did that happen? That's because of 1967. Tell you the truth, the war didn't start here. The war was supposed to be only against Egypt, only at the southern part of Israel. We didn't expect a war. We thought we had an agreement with the Jordanians. You stay quiet, we stay quiet, everything was being great, okay. But then they started the war. They started attacking in the southern part of Jerusalem, the commissioner's office just in the southern part of Jerusalem. So we had to defend, don't we? We had to defend our state, our city, our kids. and the Brigade of Jerusalem came from that area, from the south. All these mountains is the Brigade of Jerusalem. And then the paratroopers would come later on, and they would attack, or mostly defend, the city from the northern part. There's like a flag, if you can see on that peak, there's like an antenna, and next to a flag. That's the ammunition held today. So the paratroopers came from this area, and the Brigade of Jerusalem came from the left side, and they came up here to Mount of Olives on the third day of the 6-day war. And from here, Motagur, just next to us, says in the communication, even to the radio, in Hebrew, Mefakdei Agdudim, the commanders of the battalions, Anu umdim al kavareches. We're standing on the ridge, on the mountain, looking upon the old city. Which old city? The old city. We've been yearning and waiting for and dreaming for the past 2,000 years. And we're going to go inside. The tanks of Eitan are going to go in through the Lion Gate. Lanua, lanua, come on, go, go! El Ashar, Misdar Siyum, the ending would be Ala Rachava, on the plaza. Tell the truth, nobody would say such a command in the communication. A commander never says where he is, because he's afraid maybe an airplane or something would bomb him now. And I asked once, why did Motagur say that command? Why did it say it this way? And someone told me, you know why? He wasn't speaking to his soldiers. The soldiers knew the command. He was speaking to us. The people who are at home, who couldn't come because of the war, he's telling them, we are going inside the heart of the hearts. We're coming back home to Jerusalem. And we are starting to walk. Great! So I hope your air conditioning is great. I would like some air. Where's the air? And we're looking upon the Temple Mount, looking at all this amazing view. Look, we're just tasting Jerusalem, but you should come, because the smells, the mood, the holiness you can feel when you're walking here in Jerusalem, it's really hard to transmit through the camera. But we are now in Har HaZeitim. Anyhow, we're going to go to the next stop, but we have another surprise. We're going to go to another crew, just hand the microphone to Dorit, which is waiting for us in a very special place. Dorit, are you with us?
Hi everyone, welcome. I'm so happy you guys are with us. I'm Dorit Greiver, I'm a tour guide, and I live right here in Jerusalem, and I'm happy you guys joined us in this special day. So usually this day looks very different. The streets are full with people dressing blue and white, waving in flags, dancing, singing songs about Jerusalem. Today, this year, this day looks very different. The streets are quite empty. The city is, as you can see, is quite empty, but maybe that makes this day to be even more special and more exciting. And we're going to walk in the footsteps of 1948 till 1967, and we're going to have our own Jerusalem Day. And if we're talking about the establishment of Israel, if you want to start the story from the beginning, from 1948, so there is one place we should start with, and this is the place we're standing right now, which is the National Institutions Building. The building where the country, Israel, which is about to be established, where it all started. I'm talking about the Jewish Agency, the World Zionist Organization, and we're about to meet Eitan, who works here in the World Zionist Organization, and going to tell us a bit about the history of the building and about the history of these places that made Israel to be what it is. So follow me, we're going to meet Eitan. Hi Eitan.
Hello.
Nice to meet you.
Same here.
Yeah.
It will be very interesting to get inside the building and see much more.
All right, let's do that.
Let's go.
Okay.
Here was David Ben-Gurion's office between 1935, years before the establishment of the State of Israel, until 1948. it kept being his office many years later, even after the establishment of the State of Israel, and also became the meeting place of the Israeli newly elected or newly State of Israel, the governors of the State of Israel.
All right.
And we can get in.
Here is Ben Gurion.
Well,
Wow.
humbly, I'm getting to this room. Behind that wall, I don't know if you can hear that or not, many slicks, weapons have been found. Do not forget, this was also a meeting place or like a camp of the Haganah underground, and out of which people started like fighting for the State of Israel before the 1948 war.
We are live from Har Hazitim, Mount of Olives. While you were in Rechavia, talking about the history of only the last 100 years, we went down this mountain, and it's hot here, but I hope you're enjoying the tour. So you see more of the graveyard continues all the way down the slopes. Of course, there are a lot of Christian sites which are northern to us, and we're going down, trying to go in the same footsteps of the soldiers of 1967. So we're continuing our walk. We in one take. This is live from Mount of Olives, Yom Yerushalayim. Isn't it exciting? And we're walking this way on the footsteps of the soldiers.
Okay, we're here right next to Jaffa Gate. Jaffa Gate is one of the 8 gates of the old wall, and it's named Jaffa Gate because that's the way to Jaffa since ever. Pilgrims who coming to Jerusalem, taking this way into the city, and this beautiful wall, the old city wall of Jerusalem. Usually people think it's a 2,000 years old wall, 3,000. The truth is that this is a very young wall, only 500 years old wall from the time of the Ottoman Empire, from the time of the Turks. And we are about to enter the city from Jaffa Gate. But before that, we're going to meet one of the soldiers who participate in the fighting in 1967. And we're going to have the privilege to hear the story from his angle, the real story of a real person who fought here in 1967 when Jerusalem was united. Follow me. Let's go meet Benji Hyman.
Well, first of all, I was born in Jerusalem.
Wow.
In 1944. And before 67, this whole area that we're seeing here could have been in China, because I don't remember Jerusalem up to 1948. And after 1948, this whole area around here, which we see, was Jerusalem was divided, and the north, the east, and the southern parts were in Jordan, and only the western part was in Jerusalem. And there was a line running right north and south of the city. All the old city was within Jordanian jurisdiction.
So we couldn't just stand here like we do right now.
No, if you did, it would be dangerous, because there were 24 hours a day, there were Jordanian soldiers on the ramparts here.
Wow.
And anyone who stepped into what's called the demilitarized zone and the no man's land, anybody who would walk into that area would be almost certain to be shot.
As a person who never knew the reality of a border and fences, living borders in Jerusalem, can you describe me the feeling in 1967 when Jerusalem was united?
Well, I'll start from the end. I'll tell you that right now, in all the 50 plus years, whenever I go across the former line, people nowadays don't see it. I always feel there's a sort of click. I'm going somewhere else. It was incredible. We felt elated. We felt sort of that it was destiny. It was history, and we said this is the new Jerusalem. I mean, not just a question of defending. This was now the center of our national being.
Wow.
And you know, Jerusalem is called the city of peace, Yerushalayim. So all we can ask is that title be fulfilled.
Amen. Thank you so much.
אנו עוברים את שער האריות. אנחנו בתוך העיר העתיקה. אנחנו בתוך העיר העתיקה.
הר הבית בידינו, כאן תלמיד, הר הבית בידינו. רות שריף קיבלנו, כל הכבוד, כל הכבוד. חדל, חדל, כל הכוחות חדל. אתה אדוני, נחל ציון ובונה ירושלים.
But now we're up here at the Mount of Olives and the Lion Gate. Whoa, it's so hot today in Jerusalem. But who are the lions? Maybe it's for the paratroopers who just entered this gate in 1967, same as we are now, like you saw in the movie, in the clip. But come, follow me, and we're going to go exactly on the footsteps of those soldiers coming in. The first one, first of all, we should also mention there was a tank. The tank was also Ben Gigi, was a tank driver. He tried to take this gate, open it, and then to go in through the gate. But the problem is that a tank can't fit in this gate. He just broke some of this gate, but instead he stopped here. The paratroopers are going from up above, down below. We're now entering the gate. Now we're inside the old city of today. And you're seeing this gate. It's sealed now. This is the Temple Mount. This is Temple Mount. It's called the Gate of the Tribes, and they're going in from here. Paratroopers come inside, and then like you saw in the movie, Har HaBayit B'Yadeinu, Har HaBayit Ben, the Temple Mount is in our hands. Temple Mount, the dream has come true. They go inside, and they look for the way to the Western Wall. And we're moving, handing back to Dorit.
Everything we see around us is actually new, because in 1967, when Israel came back to the old city and Jerusalem was united, everything around us was destroyed. The Jordanians ruined all the synagogues, many of the houses. It was all burned down. There was nothing around here. And Israel had a big challenge of rebuilding the old city after this destruction. So everything we see here is from 1967 and on. Streets are so quiet. I promise you that when you're going to come here for a visit, it's going to seem very different.
Thank God for the ending, amazing ending for our tour. As we said, the paratroopers went from over there, Lion Gate. They crossed through the Temple Mount, and they got here to this gate just down below. They had a flag, Zamush, the company commander. He has a flag. He wants to put the flag, but you can't just put a flag along the Western Wall. Remember the Western Wall? The Western Wall which holds up the Temple Mount? Remember the Western Wall, which the lower courses of stones are from the Second Temple original? The Western Wall, which is the retaining wall outside of the temple, but because Jews couldn't go to the temple for hundreds of years, it ends up to be almost as if the holiest spot for Jews, the Wailing Wall. We are crying to go back in. And then Zamush, with the second in command of the brigade, they're coming down, seeing no place to put the flag, so they look for a different place, and they found over there, above the Western Wall, there are some bars, chaluda. You see those bars, iron bars, and they put the flag on the Western Wall. Here I have a picture of it. Do you see it? Here are the bars. Here's the flag. Here is the flag. Here's Zamush putting the flag up there. And someone starts to sing Hatikva, national anthem of Israel. And then they're singing Hatikva. Commanders have to salute. They're saluting. And this general, it's the second in command of the brigade, he's all strong. He has these huge arms, but he's saluting when he's shaking. And as he finished the tikva, he takes the helmet, put it down, and says, Zamush, you're the commander now. And he goes away. And Zamush says, well, I'm a company commander. The 2nd Brigade asked me to be a commander. He's here. What happened? What happened, Stempel? What happened? And he says, no, you're the commander. You're the commander. And he doesn't understand. He goes and he thinks maybe he's been hit. Maybe something hit him. That's why he's putting the helmet down. So he just takes the helmet and throws it away. Where are you injured? Why? And he sees he's crying. His commander is crying. This huge commander, strong commander Rambo. He's crying. He's asking, why are you crying? Where are you hit? I'm not hit. So why are you crying? He's just saying, do you understand? Do you get it? Do you get it? Do you understand the momentum? What? Do you understand that we are now soldiers here uniting Jerusalem? If I would tell my great grandfather that I would be here wearing soldiers with an Israeli flag, speaking Hebrew, singing the national anthem, they wouldn't think in 1,000 years from today, 22 years after the Shoah, the Holocaust, we would be here in Temple Mount in the Kotel. It's a dream that came true. And we would never leave this place. It's not us and the Jordanians. This is not the game. It's us coming back after the Romans kicked us away. I have here a small thing, simple thing, we call the shofar. Now this very small equipment or tool is with us, with the Temple Mount, for almost 4,000 years. The shofar represents the binding of Isaac and Abraham just over there. The shofar represents also King David and King Solomon when coming and reestablishing the temple, building the first time. The shofar represents building the second temple and the victory of the Hasmoneans. The shofar represents our connection. The shofar represents also Rabbi Goren, the chief rabbi of the army in the IDF. And when they come down here, he blows the shofar, hoping for a better world. And we are ending this broadcast also today with the shofar. Teka b'shofar gadol lecherutenu, v'sanes lekabetzenu, it says. We're hoping to hear the blow of the shofar. And after that, Jews from all around the world are going to connect and feel as one nation because we are one. We're all different than one each other. We think different, but we're one nation, one people. From Abraham and David, we're one people. And wanting to make this world the best we can, a better place, at least what we can do. So we're going to end with the shofar. Before they start the ceremony tekes of Yom Yerushalayim, you're hearing the rehearsals. This is live broadcast from Jerusalem, Yom Yerushalayim 53. So honoring Jerusalem, let's try. Yom Yerushalayim Sameach. All the best.